finally happened. The much awaited Crimson Scales box is here, and I'm super excited to share it. Now, this is an advanced copy, so don't just go like looking for your tracking number and seeing where it is. I've got a little bit ahead of time, but I want to share with you all the contents of the box and some initial impressions I've got from it. So let's take a look. Such a big boy. So the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that there's, first off, so much. I can't show off the miniatures because this is an advanced box. The miniatures aren't ready yet, so that'll be later. But everything feels and looks, not only that, this is incredibly good quality. Just like the materials itself, it's very reminiscent of what I just consider like a premium board game instead of just a, you know, like the equivalent of fan art, except the quality is so much higher. And these punch outs, I actually remember these monsters. I think these are designed by Josh, what's it, Wynetz, I think this is how we pronounce it. But other than that, we have all the wonderful tuck boxes that we're used to. And seriously, the amount of content in this box is amazing. The amount of just ability cards, all these other small cards, including introducing new monsters, all new city and road events, a crap ton of new items, like seriously. The amount of items that you get, so much. And then a whole bunch of booklets and all the tuck boxes to go with it. Well, this is a semi-decent default organizer. This is like it's literally another Gloomhaven. Now, it doesn't have as many scenarios, but you'll get through quite a few. There's a full-on rule book, formatted really well, with a scenario guide, an introduction, which gives you your first scenario, and including some other effects that you should be discussing throughout the course of the campaign. Looks very professional, just like a regular Gloomhaven rulebook. There's a Crimson Scales add-on pack for those that it adds a few more classes, a couple of which I've already played on stream. There's also a section guide, which gives you all sorts of other things, but they're hidden, so we shouldn't open this yet. There's a bunch of large tuck boxes which contain character mats, the standee, and the character notepads. Don't worry, this class is revealed in the Stop, Read This First section, so it's not considered spoiler. However, the rest of the class will be considered locked and I won't be revealing them. However, taking a look at the character mat for the Chieftain, you can clearly see that the text doesn't have the default rules text that it had in Gloomhaven, but rather how to play the class and mechanics to keep in mind, like the Frosthaven classes. When it comes to classes, there's a lot of new classes you can play. Like seriously, there's so many of them. And not only that, but for those people like, well, it's fan-made. What about balance? Is this up to Gloomhaven standards? I'd argue that these are not only a lot of them more interesting and innovative, but significantly more balanced than Gloomhaven itself. I've seen a lot of the discussions on the Gloomhaven Content Creators Unity Guild, and I can say that they hold themselves to such a high standard when it comes to releasing a class that all the classes that fall under this category are absolutely perfect for the game. So what are the starting groups and how do the starting classes get picked? Simply put, there are 5 groups that you can select from, and those determine your starting classes. Those unlock 4 classes for you, and then all the classes that you didn't get picked as part of your group get added to the locked classes, and then you get to add those to personal quests to classes you can unlock later. The Militants and Protectors seem to be the EDC groups, both sharing 2 classes together and focusing a little bit more on defense. The Naturalist group has terrain interactions, crowd control, and summoning, which might make it a little bit more difficult for your average group. And that leaves the Explorers and Trailblazers right in the middle of the pack. And ultimately, I think all these groups are fun. I've seen several of these classes before, and I've seen some of them evolve over time, and I love to see the final versions, some of which I haven't had the chance to catch up on, but just seeing the process of how they started out, and some of them how they've resulted now. Some where even one class has turned into 2, and then seeing that wonderful process has been just great. I'm very excited. I'm going to be talking to my friend Cliff, and we're going to see which starting group we're going to end up picking. So I'm going to be sharing some of the thoughts of the Dark Lake, which is scenario 1, and some of the early playthroughs of it. I'll give you an initial impressions of the classes, of the scenarios, and the whole Crimson Scales experience as I play through it, but I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free section instead of like going them through scenario by scenario and class by class immediately. Not until you at least have it in your hands. At that point, I'll be getting more into spoilers. But for right now, we're going to go through the campaign start, the Dark Lake, and see where it takes us from there. If you'd like to know more about the Crimson Scales classes and a playthrough of it, I'll be taking some pictures and posting some of my thoughts on it on my Discord. So please follow the link in the description if you want to join that. There will be a Crimson Scales channel. If you want to see, maybe get our thoughts and watch some of the pictures of our playthrough and some of the discussions, feel free to join. If you're interested in more about the Crimson Scales classes, playthrough, and whatnot, be sure to like and subscribe because we'll be trying to do at least bi-weekly updates on Crimson Scales, at least until Frosthaven. But I just want to thank Board Game 613. This is a huge project. It couldn't have been done without you. You've done all the heavy lifting, and I love that you not only took on the idea to share your own classes, but took on other members of the community and highlighted their classes as well and included them in your work. And that's just wonderful because if there's anything that's important to me, it's the Gloomhaven community, and you're one of the most important people in it, so keep kicking ass. And now this is where I thank all my patrons. All of you guys are still amazing. Keep kicking ass, and thank all of you for watching.